is Wednesday morning. It is 8 o'clock, September the 20th. What? Man, fall is like right around the corner, and we've got some changes in the old 7-day forecast for you. But first, good morning to you. I'm WESH 2 meteorologist Eric Burris. This is Coffee Talk. We get together 7 days a week in the mornings to chat about what's going on in the world of weather. And today's going to be a wet day. You wouldn't know it if you look outside. Let's look outside our weather window. This is in Tavares. It's stunning out. I mean, no matter which camera you look at, it's beautiful. Each and every camera prettier than the last. It is a lovely, lovely shot on our Tower Cam network. But that said, let me just tell you, we are bringing the humidity in. Let's take a look and see, all right? Temperature's comfortable. Not as comfortable as yesterday. Notice I brought the old Coffee Talk back inside the house. It's not that it's bad, but it's just not that lower humidity that we had yesterday. 75 in Orlando. It's 73 in Leesburg, 72 degrees in Ocala, and about 80 degrees Daytona Beach. So it's not bad at all. Yeah, but we check in on our first warning live Doppler radar, and what we are finding is a little bit of rain around. Nothing to bother us. Let me just put this into motion. And we're really doing good. A couple of showers, like maybe around the Kennedy Space Center, you're trying to sneak in. Right? Maybe a little bit there. But, relatively quiet setup. Now, let's take a look at the wider perspective, because that really tells the story. Particularly if you just kind of use the old noggin and do some interpolating. Like, all of this moisture here is eventually going to spread across all of this land here, which just happens to be where we live. So don't expect today to be this like beautiful masterpiece of sunshine all day. As a matter of fact, enjoy it while you got it this morning, because this afternoon, those thunderstorms are arriving. 84 degrees by about noon, 85 our 1 o'clock temperature, and then boom goes the dynamite. There's that 70% coverage of showers and thunder showers. Now, of course, on a day like today, we definitely need to use our Futurecast model and get an idea of the timing of that rainfall, right? So here we are this morning, doing a great job showing a couple of coastal showers, and that's it. Through lunchtime, starting to see some rains developing over in Brevard County. Then we start to spread it. 2 o'clock, thunderstorms around, particularly our southern areas. Widespread storms 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, stormy weather around. 5, 6 o'clock out west, and then kind of clearing out just thereafter. So we are definitely increasing the overall moisture. And as a matter of fact, the Weather Prediction Center, the WPC, has highlighted us as having a low-end threat for flooding today. All right. And then as a matter of fact, today into tomorrow. Tomorrow, the shift focuses on the coastline because there's a coastal low that's going to try to develop. So let's talk a little bit about this weather pattern, okay? So here we are today, Wednesday. We've got that old frontal boundary kind of doing its thing, bringing up and amplifying moisture. But into tomorrow, we're going to start to watch this area of low pressure develop. And what that's going to do, it's going to keep us with plenty of showers and thunder showers around for our Thursday. But what's interesting, and the models have been kind of going a little back and forth on this, is that by Friday, we could actually see this thing develop and lift to the north. And then Friday, Saturday, Sunday, actually grab autumn air, drier air, and yank it down to Central Florida. Yes. I mean, that wouldn't be bad. Now, non-tropical low. It's possible it tries to take some subtropical characteristics, but that coastal low is going to end up bringing plenty of showers and storms for us today. But what we end up looking for, particularly Thursday into Friday, is going to be kind of some breezy showers, but gustier downpours, and even some of those coastal concerns like rough surf, rip currents, that sort of thing, okay? So just keep that in mind. So here's kind of the overall picture of the forecast pattern, all right? For today, stormy as that front lifts to the north. Then we start to watch that area of low pressure developing tomorrow, and then into Friday as it starts to lift to the north, we wave goodbye. We start drying out, and then it does its thing. Whether or not it becomes a actual coastal low or not remains to be seen. I mean, I wouldn't mind it if it does its thing as long as it stays weak. I don't really care because it's bringing better weather for us. Now, this is the way it looks on the tropical satellite right now. Only a low-end 30% likelihood that it develops over the next 7 days' time into a subtropical system. But again, surf is going to be building across Central Florida. Take a look at the breaking wave forecast, all right? 2 to 4 tomorrow, 4 to 6 on Friday, about the same on Saturday, and then calming back down on Sunday. It may even take a while on Sunday to get there, but you get the idea. So that's kind of the overall trend here these next couple of days. I can anticipate some high surf concerns, probably, not guaranteed, but probably. So these are just kind of things that we'll have to watch. But, remember how I said that it's going to bring in some drier air? Take a look. All right. Dew point temperatures humid, but Saturday. Wow. All right. So let's take a look. Central Florida's certified most accurate 7-day forecast, okay? And just kind of take a minute here. We've got the high storm coverage today, the high storm coverage, and then once I'm done with this, then I'll pause. We can chat and do our thing. Stunning weather, though, for Friday evening, for Saturday. Sunday starts to get a little warmer, but seriously, whoa, what a stretch of weather. Okay, my high school has the alumni band night on Friday, so I'm going to be doing the Silver Regiment alumni band, and it's just could this look any nicer? Seriously? Jeez. And then I'm off this weekend. Yes. A rare treat. All I need is some tasty waves, a cool buzz, and I'm fine. Movie quote. I feel like I've heard that, but I don't know. I've heard people say tasty waves. So anyway, there's that 7-day forecast. It's looking so nice. And with that, I'm going to pause for my weather rundown and allow us to talk. Hi, how are you? I'm Eric. Let's talk. So rain today. Unbelievably nice this weekend. I feel like this weekend is going to be a good weekend to make fall throw up around the house. Am I the only one? Seriously, look at this weekend forecast and tell me that this is not perfect to make fall vomit around your house. A sprinkle or two, lovely breeze, bright sunshine, come on. Right? Wow. Morgan says, bring on the autumn air, please. 6.5 months pregnant in Florida. Summer heat isn't fun. I know it. Our second was born in August of 2020, and let's just say by the time that we popped, Mama was ready. Being pregnant in the summertime in Florida, while I'm a guy, so I have no actual idea, I've witnessed, and it's not fun. So Morgan, I'm sending all the love to you, and all I could say is please just know that we're doing the best we can. Now, this weekend's temperatures would welcome in the first 60s we've seen in over 100 days. So that's lovely. And fall starts this weekend, so isn't it just so apropos, right? Sharon says, going to enjoy our RV life in Eustis. Now, that sounds good, too. I like that. Stevie, coffee time, good morning. Over on YouTube, good morning to you, bud. Kimberly says, going camping at Fort Wilderness. Can't wait to enjoy the lower temps. Kimberly, that sounds lovely. I've been meaning to buy a tent. I only get so many flipping weekends off. One day, look, I've been with my company 17 years. Maybe one day I'll get weekends off where I can take my kids camping. There's nothing I would love to do more as they get older. And as a matter of fact, what's kind of interesting, they've got, this is like a parenting thing. They've got, the Boy Scouts are doing a thing, I guess, at my son's elementary school today. And I'm like, man, I don't know that I can do that because I work weekends. So I have to figure out if that's even something that I can do. What I want to do is support my children, but man, sometimes work's going to get in the way, I guess. Taylor says this weekend I'm working on helping my daughter raise money for her Washington, D.C. trip. I love that. I never went to D.C. for a school trip. I feel like that would have been great. That would have been so cool to see. I mean, I went as a as an adult and as a child, and I loved it. But like to go as a school trip would have been really cool. Ann says Boy Scouts are a huge time commitment. I feel like it's Cub Scouts because he's kindergartner, but either way, I don't want to not be able to support him. So I've got to figure out a way to talk to the bosses and figure something out. Michael says, former Cub Master here, do it. It's a ton of fun for both you and him. My only worry, I'm sure it is, Michael, and I want to do it because I think the kid needs it. But I'm just worried because I work weekends, and I'm only allowed so many weekends off a year. So I need to figure out how I can make that work. Made the switch to the autumn scents last week. Cindy says, had a maintenance person tell me yesterday my house smelled amazing. I've got the fall scents. I switch them out at the beginning of every month. So I've got pumpkin pie in there right now. I'm going to do some sort of a cornucopia thing for September. It's in-house and ready to go. Yeah. Camping with my wife involves an RV. She says she goes glamping. I mean, I'm fine with that too. I like camping in a tent though, but I do have to have an air mattress. So I guess it is somewhat of a glamping situation. Oh, well. All right. Any other questions, comments, concerns, y'all? Anything? We know that we've got a wet weather pattern today, tomorrow. Michael says some scouting is better than no scouting. Do what you can when you can. Is that a thing? Like, I just don't. Yeah. I mean, I would do anything I could. Memories are made in many ways. No dad guilt. Your kids are at Magic Kingdom. All that they are. I'm doing everything I can. I know my children need something like Boy Scouts, Cub Scouts, that kind of a thing. Kenneth Otto, haven't seen you in a while. I hope all is well, friend. Good morning. Hope you're feeling well. All right. So somebody had asked, how much rain are we talking the next couple of days? Let's take a look at the rainfall forecast from Futurecast. And all right. So here's Futurecast. Janice, you're a wonderful dad. I'm trying. Look, I'm not going to say I am. I'm going to try, though. That's all I can promise. So through Wednesday, Thursday, so through Friday morning, which is when, most areas are going to see half inch or less of rain, but you can see some isolated pockets in the orange shade. So we could see some isolated pockets with 3 to 5 inches of rain falling. So there's that. Yeah. Nothing wrong with that. Some good, steady, heavy rains are definitely good. Yeah. Mike says there's a bus stop being built in my community. It's being done by the Boy Scouts, and this kid is getting his Eagle Scout badge. I love that. I think it's one of those things that I never did as a kid, and I don't know if it's because my parents were divorcing and just, what, I don't know. So it's something I always wanted to do, and it's something I really want to help my kids see through, is seeing that the world is bigger than just them, and there's a lot of good that we can do in the community. So anything I can do. So I'll have to do that. I'm going to try and make that meeting tonight at his school. Susan's asking, what are the local yearly totals for rainfall? Oh boy. Let's see. You're asking me questions that I have to go do the digging. All right. So that's the temperature. All right. So here's the Orlando numbers. All right, so Orlando has seen just shy of 40 inches of rain for the year, but we are 2 inches, 0.3, 2.25 or so behind where we should be for the year. When we look at the year around Central Florida, here's our departure, okay? Sanford, 6 inches behind. Leesburg, 7.5 inches behind. And Orlando, 2.25 inches behind. So definitely a little drier. Raven says there's no handbook to teach us how to be a parent. Being present and involved and doing the best we can is all we can do. I agree. And I have to remind myself, I suppose, of that too, right? Like, do the best you can. But I don't want to ever let them down. That's all. Like, if there's a camping trip and I can't because I have to do the weather, it's hard. It's hard. Sounds good, Kenneth. Destiny. Oh, thank you, Destiny. Thank you. Oh my gosh, Destiny, that last part of your message. Oh, I don't even know what to say to that, Destiny. You just kind of hit a note there. Thank you, Amy. Absolutely, it is. Listen, anything to make my kids better than me, anything to make our kids better than us, right? I think is where we're at. That's all. So that's kind of where we're at, my friends. We've got a nice wet weather pattern around, right? Destiny, it's all love. I love. Okay, all right. So let's talk a little bit about the tropics, my friends. We've got, of course, Hurricane Nigel. My neighbor's dog is named Nigel, by the way. So this is always just cute because my neighbor's dog, Nigel, is as sweet as can be. I love it. He's polite and sweet and kind. And seemingly this Hurricane Nigel, also sweet, polite, and kind because it's not going to go bother anybody. So Nigel's doing its thing. We've got that possible area of subtropical low pressure forming along the same front that's bringing us the rain the next couple of days. And then out in the open waters of the Atlantic, we've got that wave rolling off the coast of Africa, has a 10% chance of development over the next 2 days' time, a 70% high likelihood of forming over the next 7 days' time. Timeline would be this weekend. So what's interesting is that we've got two areas to watch. Now, the area in the main development region has the better chance of forming. But what I think is super interesting about this is that the next name on the list, bear with me here a second, and we had chatted a little bit about this a couple of days ago, but maybe you missed it. It'll be like which one of these, the yellow area, the red area, gets the next name on the list. The next name on the list is Ophelia. Now, what I think is so fun is that I looked back, and when I was in college, it was like 03, 04, there was an Ophelia that like sat off of our East Coast. So for me personally, it would just be anecdotally funny if that system off of our East Coast made a run for Ophelia. That's just it. Now, as far as the kind of timeline of everything goes, the models are starting to get a little more in line with this little subtropical low in terms of timing. Positioning, they're a little loose, nothing crazy. One point of note is that come like Friday, Saturday, the GFS is trying to bring something north of Puerto Rico. So, of course, for that, we need to look at some raw model data. We're going to do that. And then we're going to look at the BSR because if you were watching yesterday, you remember I was telling you about how one control room that I use for Coffee Talk has the BSR, one control room that I have does not. Well, we're on the one that does, so we'll be checking in just a couple of minutes' time. But first, let's take a look at some raw model data here, and let's just kind of familiarize ourselves with what we're looking at. This is the raw GFS. Read from the top left corner, initialize 6Z, so that's the most recent run of the GFS. Mean sea level pressure normalized anomaly. In other words, we're looking for high pressure areas, low pressure areas, that sort of thing. And I'll go to the full Atlantic Basin. This is raw model data. You notice it doesn't have like the pretty WESH logo on it because it's raw. This is the website stuff. All right, so let's roll. There's Nigel recurving, doing its thing. There's the GFS developing off of the coast of the Carolinas, that little area of low pressure. And the GFS, at least the current run, is kind of bringing it in around the Outer Banks. We go back one run, bringing it around the Outer Banks. We go back two runs, bringing it in just south of the Outer Banks. 3 runs. So there's some GFS consistency here. All right, back to the current run. It comes in, then it goes back out. Then you got that next little wave. Now let's go back to the basin and just kind of, you see that wave coming in around the Antilles? Let's go back and just see what it is. So that's the wave that's coming off the coast of Africa right now, right? There's the GFS. That's Wednesday morning of next week, okay? And to familiarize yourselves, that's the wave that has the 70% likelihood of development, okay? Just starting to come off the shore of Africa right now. So to give you an idea, today's Wednesday the 20th. This is a week from now, still nowhere near us or anybody in the United States. So it just kind of lets you know we've got plenty of time to watch these things, all right? There it is, very near the, going like right through the Virgin Islands and very, very near Puerto Rico. Now, according to the GFS, you're looking at, that's a 120 mile per hour storm, so that's a hurricane. Okay. and then it curves away and actually gets pretty nasty. I mean, that's 115 mile per hour winds. Yeah. But let's just look for consistency. Okay, so that's current GFS. Let's go back one run. One run brought it south and then recurved. Ooh, God, I do not like that, Sam I am. So no consistency yet, right? So that was one run ago. Let's go 2 runs ago. Recurve. 3 runs ago, recurve, but much closer. 4 runs ago, super weak. All right, and then, of course, back to the current run, which is around Puerto Rico and the Virgin Islands, then recurve. So most of the models have been recurving it, although I don't like the last night one. I don't like that at all. So anyway, we'll see how that plays out, but definitely back to the current run. Something to watch. The ensembles will be interesting to check out. So let's do that. Let's come back here. I'm just going to stop it there. Let's switch over to the GFS ensembles. All right. And there's the low locations, bottom right corner of your screen. Right? And you can see the low locations. There's kind of the circles, if you will. I like to show. Most all the ensembles are definitely wanting to keep it away from us. There are a few that are kind of bringing it around. But you know, this is like the easiest way to see it. Yeah. So most all the ensembles are wanting to keep it east of us. So that's good. But around, you know, the 1st of October, GFS is hinting stuff. Too early to tell much, but there's stuff there. Laura says the GFS needs to stop drinking. I know, right? What we need is to keep everything away from Florida and only mention the Bay of Campeche anecdotally. Oh, coffee is so good. All right, any questions about this so far? We'll go to the European next. Any questions about the GFS model data we're seeing? Let me get the pressure, normalized anomaly, basin. Let me just get it kind of reconfigured. All right. Got it turned around. All right. Good. Keep it east. I'd like that. Becca, I'm a great. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Keep it away. Thanks for the updates. Jeannie, of course, always here for you. What is causing all the recurve this season? Troughs. These little troughs, these little cold fronts. Manolfi and I had talked about for weeks now, these little troughs, these little cold fronts, even if they don't make it to us, they're troughs that are eroding the Bermuda High. So as these storms kind of come through, if there's a weakness, they're going to want to recurve. But we always refer to ridge over troubled waters. I don't know who coined the term, but essentially without a trough, if you've got the big ridge there where it traps it going to Florida, then there you go. But the thing is, and Manolfi made this graphic, and it's funny, I got flack over tweeting it, and I'm just like, man, people are just such pains. So why do these things recurve? Give me 2 seconds. Let me turn the graphic around. So why do they recurve? Again, it's that troughiness. So essentially, there you go. Those cold fronts erode away on the high and allow these things to recurve. The problem, though, is with those early fronts, we need to be watching because come October and November, when the focus of the season kind of comes back to the Caribbean and the Gulf, that trough is going to force storms through our west coast areas. Okay? So it's got us good for now, but that means October and November we have to watch the west coast, which if you follow me a long time, you know you don't want to have hits in October and November because that's precursors to what would happen next year. All right? Laura says, drink. All I have is water. Still got to make my espresso. Do it, girlfriend. You need it. You deserve it. Mickey's asking, can we see last night's ensemble run? Yeah, of course you can. Why didn't I do that before I turned everything around to the Euro? Give it a minute. GFS ensemble, multi-member, Caribbean. Okay. All right. So let me just fast forward. Go, gadget copter. All right, so there's the current ensembles for the GFS. That's current. Let's go back a run. Definitely more diverged last night. That's the 0Z run. Let's go to the 18Z run of the ensembles. More diverged. 12Z yesterday. Yeah, so there's definitely been what seems like a bit of a trend where more of the stronger members are keeping it out east of us. So that's the GFS. All right, anyway, let's go over to the European. Let's look at the operational European first. And first off, the European scraping near the Outer Banks, but keeping it off the shoreline. All right. Then there comes that blob of something. Although the European is much weaker than the GFS, right? Like that's the GFS, or that's the European. The GFS has a hurricane, whereas the European has a much weaker kind of like wave type situation. That's the current European. Let's go back one run. So the European was stronger in the 12Z yesterday run. The 0Z is much weaker. So that's kind of an interesting thing. Have to watch that trend. Now over to the European ensembles. Definitely seeing around some of the ensemble members, but it looks like they're all way out east. That's the current ensembles. Yeah, the European is way out east on all of them. And then last but not least, let's just pop up the Canadian for fun. Pressure. All right. I don't know that it'll go. The Canadian, by the way, is like right on the Grand, like North Carolina, South Carolina for this offshore Florida thing. And then there's the Canadian is weaker and takes it like right through, look at that, the Dominican Republic, Haiti, and Cuba, right through the hurricane graveyard. And if we look at the Canadian ensemble, yeah, I mean, Canadian's a little more widespread. No big indicators. But, I'll just tell you, for now, the kind of pattern that we're in would support recurves from the main development region now. But come October, November, we're going to really have to watch things. All right? Trophiness. I don't know if that's technically a meteorological term. We made it up. I don't know. But for now, these are the areas that we're watching in the tropics. Raven says, brilliant explanation. Thank you. I hope that it's okay. I never know if I'm great. Let's see here. Can you tell everyone about the Madden-Julian oscillation? Essentially, the MJO, when the MJO goes into phase, we get a little extra atmospheric spin is the essential part of it. So let me just pull it up. I don't have it set up for showing you on the air. Let me just look. MJO tracker. So the MJO goes in phase, or not in phase really. The main development region goes into phase around Friday of September 29th. And kind of stays loosely in phase through early October. And then we're way out of phase, like October 5th. The Pacific is definitely more in phase. Yeah, so that's kind of where we're at. All right. Love your Inspector Gadget comments. Thank you, Debbie. I appreciate that. Thank you. Chris will need a doctor's note for a no-show. That's okay. Let's see here. Are you hyping again? Am I? Or am I just giving information? I don't know. You be the judge. Canadian model, eh? That's right, eh? Wasn't the Euro weaker with I honest to God, between having just so many storms to track and being in dad mode, I gotta be honest with you. I can't remember what's what when it comes to stuff sometimes. That does not look good for us in the West Coast. I mean, Evelyn, we'll have to watch and see how this plays out. Anthony, Nigel looks like a cool fish storm. I'll take that. I'm okay with it. Okay, so we watch for October problems. Yeah, just given the overall pattern, and so if somebody was saying, if Florida was accusing me of non-hype hyping, Hey, man, I'm going to call it as I see it. If you call that hyping, cool beans. Oh, well. Joke's on you, though, Florida. You're still watching. All right. No, thank you. Just providing us with information. No, yeah, that's the way I look at it. Look, it's just giving you information, you know. That's all. I do laugh when people say that, though. Like, he's hyping again. Or he's doing his job, talking about the forecast. Oh, my goodness. All right. So we got rain the next couple of days. Then we've got some autumn air in the mix. Any other questions, anybody? Anything? Today marks the 6th anniversary of Hurricane Maria in Puerto Rico, and the island has not fully recovered. You know, it's interesting that you mentioned that. I saw something on my Facebook. See if I can find... Okay. So I saw this on my Facebook. See, that's not exactly the one. I don't know that that's it. There was a video. Of course, I'm looking for it now, and I don't know that I can find it. I wish I could do my, like, on this day. I saw it yesterday. It showed up. I'm just looking real fast. Bear with me 2 seconds. Memories. But is there a way to look at a memory from a previous day? Because it showed up yesterday. Yeah, I'm not going to find it. Can I look at memories from another day? I don't know that I can. Sugar. Eric Burris, Hurricane Maria, Wesh. Yeah, I don't know that I can. Sugar. There was a neat video that I had done. Yeah, that's. Yeah, I'll show you the one that I can find real quick, but it doesn't matter. It's not the one I wanted to show you. Here, 2 seconds. Do that. Do that. Well, we'll listen in. I mean, like I said, this is not the one I wanted you to see, but just...
Florida, will it stay off the coastline? To really get into the nitty-gritty of the forecast for this storm system, I wanted to kind of show you what's steering it. So very first and foremost, there it is, kind of sitting right through the Caribbean islands. We do think that it will kind of move to the north and west.
This is not the one I wanted. There was one that I was doing and tracking it and talking about kind of how it was going to be such a bad hit for them. This is not it. This is just some fancy graphics. It doesn't matter. So anyway, all right. I can't find that one, so I'm not even going to mess around with it. Oh well. All right. Any other questions, comments, concerns, people? Anything? Google it. Date on Facebook. Oh. Eric Burris Wesh. September 19th. What year was that? Was it 2017? Yeah, I'm just looking. It was a neat video just kind of showing about, it was just kind of a neat video showing how the angle of attack, et cetera, et cetera. So anyway, all right, that's all I got. Any other questions, comments, concerns? I don't know how to search my profile. I'm an idiot. All right. Listen, I'm heading over to the Science Center now. I get to do, oh my gosh, Jessica, the BSR. I totally forgot. I got to do it quickly. All right. So BSR, if you're unfamiliar with what the BSR is, the BSR is kind of a way that we track long-range forecasts down the pike. Okay. And just kind of running through here, the next few weeks doesn't seem like there's anything crazily going on. High pressure, according to the BSR, right in there. We have like a little cold front that's... Hold on. Like a week from today, ironically, that's kind of indicating... Yeah, a week from today would indicate a little cold front moving through. And then a secondary cold front moving through. Doesn't look too bad. Now that is a decent little storm system going into the northeastern United States with a decent little cold front on it. It's around October 3rd. Little storm system in the Gulf of Mexico, perhaps around October 3rd. But definitely into October, according to this, you're going to start seeing those winter fronts and those winter storm systems up in the northeastern United States. But yeah, there's a little storm system there. That's like October 6th. Definitely looks like a little storm system around. Okay, and then cold front after. So, I mean, according to the BSR, we're definitely getting indications that we're going to start to see some decent little cold fronts popping up. And then after that, if I were to just use the GFS to kind of give us ideas after that, high pressure looking good. Right at the end here, that's something kind of an interest. That's an interesting little thing. That's October 23rd, may have to watch. Let me just go back at one model run. Yeah, see, there's nothing. The current run of the GFS, though, hinting at perhaps something right at the end of October. So we're watching the BSR already. Even if it's not crazy, we're still watching it. Okay? All right. I will see you all today. I'm going to head over to the Science Center now to do the science of it. And then after that... trying to do West 2 News at noon. Kellyanne is scheduled for it, but if I can get there, I'll get there. And then I'll see you on West 2 News at 4. I will be with you for Coffee Talk afternoon update at 3:30. Sound good? Sound good? All right. Be the sunshine in someone else's day. Thank you so much for hanging out for Coffee Talk. See you later on. Bye.